Oh man, oh my days. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Ms. TV Total Football, where we talk about everything else besides Chelsea. Because for Chelsea, we've got the other side of the coin. I've been thinking about this particular channel for quite a long time now and finally got to execute it. And I've been telling you guys that this is coming. You know, it's a place where we can talk about all other clubs. It's a place where we can spread our wings a little bit and broaden our knowledge a little bit more. And I would love to hear what you guys have to say about all of this, every single bit of content that comes into this particular channel. It's gonna be some very exciting topics. It's gonna be some controversial stuff as well every now and then. I think it'll allow us to really, as I said, broaden our horizon a little bit more beyond the Chelsea Football Club. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to talk about Spurs. Today, we want to talk about Spurs. I've been meaning to talk about Spurs. I mean, honestly, this club, what is this club? I'm sorry to say this. It's nonsense. Honestly, it's nonsense what's happening to that club. You cannot get any more pathetic than this. Like, they bring in Jose Mourinho, Antonio Conte to win trophies, yet they find themselves again another season eliminated from everything, eliminated from Champions League, eliminated from all sorts of domestic cups, no chance in the Premier League. And you wonder, what is the direction? What is the direction? And this is what we're going to talk about today. And of course, going to go through a whole heap of madness from Richarlison. I mean, this player, it can only happen to Spurs. This sort of attitude, these sort of reactions from a player can only happen to Spurs, honestly. I mean, this player, Richarlison, I'm so glad that Chelsea Football Club didn't get this guy. We were trying to hijack him. He's a bit of a nutter. He really is a bit of a nutter. Look, what is the Spurs direction? What do they want? Like, choose something. If you want to be a particular club that's going to compete against some of the best out there, you're going to have to bring in some of the best players. None of these secondary players, man. Albeit, okay, fine. The last window, the summer window I'm talking about, not the January one. It was a decent window for them. They got in quite a lot of players. Bissouma, they got in, they made Kulusevski a permanent deal, I believe, or maybe he's still on a loan, whatever the case is. Looks like he's going to be a permanent player. They got in Ivan Perisic. They got in a whole heap of other players, man. Whole heap on top of some really good players they already had in the team. And you think, okay, well, if you're really going for a title and you've got a gaffer like Antonio Conte, who Chelsea's won with, you want to be able to give him the creme de la creme, not some of these secondary players. I'm not saying Bissouma is a secondary player. And also it needs to be acknowledged that Antonio Conte has also sabotaged the club himself. And we've seen that. We've seen that with Conte previously with Chelsea Football Club. He's got a knack of sabotaging. But coming back to the point, what is the direction? You want to win trophies. You want to win trophies. You got to act like a team that want to win trophies, man. You got to attract some of the best of the best. Do you understand who you're competing with? The likes of Man City in the Premier League, Liverpool, the resurgence of Arsenal, Man United, and best believe Chelsea is not going to be in the mud forever. You are competing with some of the best, and the Spurs, thank God we don't have an owner, an ownership like that. I know there's still doubts over our owners, but at least we've balled out and we've got some really top-notch players at Chelsea. But Spurs, I mean, we're going to have a look through. We're going to have a look through some of their. Actually, let's just have a quick look right now. Quick gaze right now. These are some of the players that they got in, ladies and gentlemen. Richarlison for 60 million. Do you know what I mean? From Everton. Christian Romero, I think, finally has been made a permanent. There you go, from Atalanta. He was there previously on a loan. Bissouma. Odogi, I don't think he's on a loan, by the way, still. DJ Spence never got an opportunity. Pedro Porro came in on January. Dejuma as well in January. Ivan Perisic, Foster, Langley, and Dombele left. All the other ones, I think, left the club. But yeah, Basuma is someone I definitely rated a lot. Richarlison, yeah, I did rate him, but not to the extent where I wanted him at Chelsea Football Club or anything like that. There was rumors that we were trying to hijack this particular player. I'm glad we didn't do that. But look, none of the names are like standout names that gives you the sort of feel that, okay, you're ready. You're ready to go for the title. You're ready to win something. Silverware, not the Premier League title, but something. And with a manager like Antonio Conte, if you can't win with Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte, who've been serial winners wherever they've gone, then you've got no chance. You really need to come to a realization, what are you actually doing? What are you actually doing? Do you know what I mean? And this is why I come down to the situation as to, what is your direction? Because right now it's all nonsense. It's all pathetic. It's either you ball out and get all the players and back the manager, and the manager like Antonio Conte, who at the end of the day, if he doesn't get his way, doesn't get the players, he will sabotage your club. I mean, look at the stuff that Antonio Conte has been saying post-match after the AC Milan, knockout that Spurs have had. He said AC Milan have the history, and Spurs, they don't have the history in this competition. Always a laughing stock, Spurs. Always a laughing stock. Not that long ago, Chiellini from Juventus. It is the history. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's either you ball out, or the secondary plan is you be someone like Dortmund, right? You bring in the best talents across the world in regards to like young talents, and you become a selling club, and you just hope and pray that one of the seasons clicks and you win some sort of cup, right? I think one of the things that Spurs fans, they always think about is, if Leicester can win the Premier League and if Leicester can win the FA Cup, so can the Spurs. Do you know what I mean? But it doesn't work that way. It doesn't. Like, honestly, Leicester, they made some shrewd signings. They made some calculative signings, man, that just worked out for them, and they just believed. They just believed. That's the other thing. The DNA of Spurs club is just mad, man. It's not a club that that breeds success, that breeds that type of mentality. And I'm not saying Leicester is a club that breeds success either, but they just have that belief. Do you know what I mean? And the shrewd signings that they've made. And this is the thing: if you can't win any titles, or you can't win any silverware, you need to make a decision quick, and you just need to go through the path where you go, we'll bring in some really, really good talents across the world and just become like a feeder club, where somewhat like Dortmund, and many other ones out around the world. Even you can even say Benfica. Benfica are a selling club, as well. Dortmund are a selling club, and there are many clubs out there that are selling clubs. Do you know what I mean? And then, as I said, you hope that maybe one of these days you just click with some of these players and you win something. Because if you don't move that way and you don't want to splash money, then it's going to be long. It's going to be long. The ownership is honestly a large part of it does come down to the ownership at Spurs, and they're just confused as to what direction they're going. But at the same time, look, Antonio Conte has self-sabotage. Like, we'll touch on some of the changes and substitutions he's been making when you need to chase the game, especially against AC Milan. It's not just AC Milan. There have been many other matches. Bringing in a CB when you probably need to bring in an attacker, that just screams out that you're just trying to hurt that football club now. Like, you've checked out so long ago that you couldn't care less. And Conte has a way of doing this. We know very well at Chelsea Football Club, Conte has a way of doing this. So, look, they're in the mud. Antonio Conte looks like a particular manager that's not going to stick around. And God knows what's going to happen to some of their key players in the likes of Harry Kane and Son and so forth. How many more seasons are they going to go without winning? Nada. Absolutely nada. And they keep making themselves look like fools. Even in Chelsea's worst season, we've progressed further than them in the Champions League. That just tells you the levels. And now look at this. Let's go through all the social media stuff now. You guys are going to have a laugh now. Richarlison, I'm honest. This season has been, I want to play, tells TNT Sport. I didn't understand Conte's choices. I was in positive moment and Conte put me on the bench again. Yesterday, he tested me in the starting 11 and then bench again. I mean, how does this player have the guts to just talk like that in media? Do you know what I mean? Like, imagine what Conte is thinking when this guy comes back. And this guy probably knows. Richarlison probably knows that Conte is not going to stick around for too long. So that's why he's gone out there and just absolutely demolished Conte. But this is the state of this football club right now. Further on, Richarlison did not hold back. He goes on to say, I'm a professional. I work every day and I want to play. I'm missing minutes, missing time. The season is, yep. I was on a good run and suddenly Conte, put me on the bench. So look, complete madness. Once again, I'm glad we didn't go for a player like Richarlison. I feel like he's a bit of a loose cannon. You can see it in match as well. Like he just lashes out. He's got that aggro about him. I still remember that celebration, that he did when he got that winner against Chelsea against us, and he's got a bit of a knack about him. Richarlison didn't agree with Antonio Conte's tactics versus AC Milan. Didn't agree with it either. We are out of the biggest club competition. You can't play like this when needing to score a goal. I think he should have put the team forward, especially in the second half. Look, we're going to look through. Actually, we'll just have a quick look right now. This, ladies and gentlemen, was what transpired. 0-0, and Milan went through in aggregate 1-0 score. Yes, there was a red card from Christian Romero, and that's another madness. I mean, this guy, he seems to be very reckless. Not that long ago, I think he got a red card against Man City as well. So, but it's mad. I mean, look at this. Yes, I understand there's a red card, but Antonio Conte took off Dejan Kulusevski to bring in Davinson Sanchez on the 83rd minute when he's chasing the game. Like, if that's not sabotage from Conte, I don't know what is. And I think Conte has made up his mind quite early this season. I thought off the back of last season when they won, when they got the top four, that they're actually going to kick on. I really thought this season Spurs are going to be one of those teams that you're going to have to look out for with the amount of business that they did as well. Some really quality players in the likes of Bissouma, experienced players like Ivan Perisic, and obviously Richarlison that's coming. I thought they were going to do something, but once again, Spurs being Spurs, absolutely, flopped big time. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. At home, expected goal 0.47 for Spurs, 1.42 for AC Milan, 9 shots on total, 14 for AC Milan, 0 big chance created. Are you mad? I guess it's not every London team can come back from 1-0 down. Do you know what I mean? And this is a team, AC Milan, we've beaten them twice in the Champions League. As I keep reiterating, even in Chelsea's worst season, these guys find a way to be even worse than Chelsea. I'm just sad that we lost against them, a few weeks back. And that's probably been their biggest achievement this season. So look, it's strange. I mean, the level of players Conte had available in the bench, you can see Denjuma, obviously Richarlison came in quite late, 70th minute. Why he didn't start from the get-go is quite mad. This is the lineup. I mean, I'm sure, okay, when Romero got red carded, you could potentially just do a makeshift with maybe Skip or maybe Emerson. I think Emerson Real did come off for Richarlison, but Skip, Højbjerg, or whoever, you just do a makeshift and you throw on as many attackers as possible to see if you can get a victory. Check this out. This is from Darren Ben. This is what he had to say. This is quite interesting. Let's hear what Darren Ben had to say. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, needing a goal and you're bringing in a sub when you need an attacker. I mean, that is mad, and that is sabotage at the highest order. As I keep saying, I've seen that level of sabotage with Chelsea Football Club. Antonio Conte is well known for that. But Spurs, you gotta make a decision. Obviously, you're gonna see off Antonio Conte's contract now, but what do you do? What do you do moving forward? I think you just need to, as I said, be a selling club. Do you know what I mean? Bring in all these, scout well, bring in gems, build gems, and you know, go on with a manager like Thomas Frank. Honestly, I think Thomas Frank is probably the right level of manager for them right now. Harry Kane. I mean, this guy, embarrassing to be honest. I know he's got all these records in terms of getting closer to be the highest goal scorer in the Premier League. Fantastic and all from that perspective, and he's such a talented attacker, no doubts about that. No trophies, no trophies. I'm going to play a clip from Thierry Henry and then Jamie Carragher, or when they were talking about Harry Kane post that particular match when they got knocked out by AC Milan. He's going to look back at his career and he's really, really going to regret not winning anything. He's wasting that talent, and now he's edging closer and closer to 30. Well, he is 30, looks like. Look at this. Garnacho at 18 already has a Carabao. I mean, look, Carabao Cup. Yeah, I don't want to disrespect, but it's not one of the most creme de la creme, but still, it's something more than Harry Kane. Harry Kane literally has got nothing. Literally has got nothing. So Ericsson left Spurs, died and resurrected, came back to England and won a trophy before Harry Kane. Another madness. Another madness. Do you know what I mean? Ericsson, this guy literally passed away and got resurrected and he's won a trophy before Harry Kane. Now, check this out. This was actually quite interesting. Listen to this. I mean, it's strong words from Thierry Henry and at the end from Jamie Carragher as well. You don't want to be just bringing in your goals at the end. Oh, this was my biggest goal. That you got to be able to bring in your trophies, and right now you don't. Harry Kane, look, I would love him at Chelsea. He'd never come to Chelsea. I don't think he'll come. I wish he did come. I wish he didn't think about all of these rivalries and whatnot. He should think about your career. Many of players have gone to rivals, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Chelsea, Arsenal, and many more, many more. So at the end of the day, you do what's best for you. I don't think he's going to ever go to, a club like us in Chelsea or even Arsenal. Man United, maybe. Are they in the best position to win some silverware next season? Besides the Carabao Cup and whatnot, the real, trophies. Look, at the moment, maybe Harry Kane will take a Carabao Cup, but missed an opportunity to go to Man City not that long ago. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, what do you think? What do you think? What is going on with Spurs? Where are they going? What is the direction? Look, for me, they are trying their level best to be, the big dogs, but they're just not. Yeah, they've got a big stadium, a whole heap of concert. They do a whole heap of things besides doing any damage in football, from a footballing point of view. They bring in a lot of money. They're not a poor club. They bring in a lot of revenue through their, match day ticket sales and whatnot. But they just don't seem to bring in the high caliber players that are actually going to win, some trophies. And maybe it's difficult for a club like Spurs to attract that level of player, because once again, the history of Spurs. This is where I say, go back to basics, man. Go back to basics. Start with a manager like Thomas Frank, maybe of that caliber, and just look for gems. Just look for gems and see if something happens. That may mean that you may not be part of the Champions League for a little while, but you can potentially make a lot of money through a lot of player sales. Look, with all these other clubs that are rising at the moment, as I said, resurgence of Arsenal, resurgence of Man United. You already got Man City and Liverpool balling. As I said, Chelsea ain't going to be in the mud for too long. Where does that leave? Where does that leave Spurs? And don't forget Newcastle. Newcastle only going to get better and better and better. Ladies and gentlemen, for me, Spurs, they are a bit of a dead club. They are a bit of a dead club. Let me know what you thought about this video, ladies and gentlemen. Smash the like button. Hope you've enjoyed this. And if you're here for the first time, make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to Miz TV, Total Football. We're going to try and bring in a whole heap of other content, watch-alongs as well of non-Chelsea matches. And comment below. I really would like to know what you think about Spurs.